Greetings, girls and boys, men and gentle ladies. Welcome back to some more Vinland Saga, episode 22. An episode that is very likely going to have big things happening in it. Previously, on episode 21, we had a reunion between, actually I didn't write his name down, nor did I actually remember his name, but the merchant guy, right? The merchant guy finally had his reunion with Thorfinn and realized how deep off the rails, off the hinges, Thorfinn has gone, essentially, in his quest for vengeance. And I talked a little bit about how I think he might not be able to go back to a normal life after he kills Askeladd. Because let's be honest, right? Like, his entire life has been essentially kill Askeladd, kill Askeladd, kill Askeladd, right? Everything you do is to kill Askeladd. So what happens when he does? Might not have any reason to live anymore. And then we left off with Bjorn dying and deciding to go out fighting Askeladd. And then they had a little bit of quick little, exchange of blades, exchange of swings. Askeladd, I suppose, admitted, unless he was lying, which I don't think he was, but admitted that Bjorn was the one friend that he had among the people that he hated. And then we left off with Askeladd and Thorfinn about the fight. So I suppose we shall see what's gonna happen. Somehow, I don't think this will go the same way the other duels have gone. I think if Thorfinn gets the opportunity, he'll take it. I've mentioned this before, but if Thorfinn just, as I said, the worst thing, I don't remember when I said this exactly, it was probably 6 episodes ago or something, but I said as much that the worst thing that the show can do is have Thorfinn forgive Askeladd, or not kill him. Because everything essentially is leading up to Lone Wolf. Everything is leading up to Thorfinn killing Askeladd.
Damn it. This isn't like a normal duel.
So, tell me, which one do you think will win, Prince? Want to make a bet?
I don't care who wins. I'll stop it before either of them dies.
Look, you don't have to be such a killer.
You think you will.
Those two are highly skilled warriors. You don't see a duel like that every day. Askeladd's the one. A pound of silver says I'm right.
I'm not betting. Why did you choose him?
I don't know. His aura?
His
Thorfinn won
aura.
against you, didn't
Who's stronger or weaker isn't something that's so simple. Wins and losses can't be easily determined. That's what makes it so interesting.
What are you waiting for? Come on. Let's finish before it starts snowing heavier. I guess you're not gonna leave me any choice. There. I made it easy for you. Now, let's go.
Again, see? Getting under his skin. And you get grabbed. Yep. His biggest weakness.
See? Don't you get why it ends up like this? Every single time we fight.
His biggest weakness is that he gets riled up.
Back what I said. This isn't even a duel at all. Askeladd already knows Thorfinn's moves. He can see right through him. They've fought many times before.
Pitiful. You never learn, do you? Get carried away because you beat Thorkel? I've had about enough of this.
Stop! You hear me?
Did you really believe you could defeat me with only one arm? This is turning out to be one hell of a day.
I'm not gonna lie, that was incredibly disappointing. I'm not saying that I wanted Thorfinn to win per se, but like, it's annoying to me that just because he gets a little riled up, he just instantly loses any like fighting ability that he had. Like, you might say, yeah, Askeladd is very skilled and everything, right? Sure, but that's not how it works, right? Like, you don't just you don't just get immediately blown out like this, right? You know, it just doesn't work that way. I would have understood again if they had like an exchange or whatever, and then Askeladd somehow gets the upper hand because he's just that good. He's just Askeladd, right? But like, Thorfinn isn't some sort of pushover, and he shouldn't be such a pushover even if he gets riled up. So it's a little bit like, it's weird that he just gets taken out so easily. And yeah, I've talked about how, grabs are one of his biggest weaknesses, but still, I don't know. It's like, it's too one-sided, essentially.
Just rest. Your duel is finished now, and he already finished you off. You should let your arm heal, then try again.
That won't change anything. His bad arm's not to blame. Thorfinn lost because he fought like an idiot. You've actually started using your head from time to time in normal battles. But once you let something get to you, you completely lose control. After seeing that look in your eye, it's clear you're aiming for the jugular. Your temper betrays you, and you get sloppy, shrieking and flailing like an amateur. You and countless other fools. None of you display an ounce of grace. It's just like Bjorn said. I absolutely despised warriors. Norse especially. Those damned Viking maniacs. The first person I ever killed was a Norse warrior. Another fool devoid of grace. It was my old man.
Before I talk about that, I just want to say, even though, yeah, he's right that he, Thorfinn starts flailing around like an idiot when he loses his cool, but it still shouldn't be so one-sided. It should be like, he's doing well until he loses his cool, and then he starts showing openings. But it shouldn't be so absolutely one-sided where Askeladd just grabs him and just beats him the fuck around. It should still be like, he takes damage, but he still manages to like fight back a little. And then because he's so upset or he's lost his cool, he keeps leaving himself open and stuff like that. It shouldn't be so absolutely one-sided.
Listen, it might help you in the future. I'll teach you how to kill a person you despise.
Are we getting Askeladd backstory?
As far back as I can remember, I was working at the blacksmith's and in the stables. I was always covered in ashes, soot, and horse shit. It made me black and white all over. Thus, the nickname Askeladd. It means covered in ash.
Lord Olaf has returned home!
My old man was from a powerful clan in Jutland.
Lord Olaf! Welcome home!
He loved booze, women, and killing. All in all, as typical a Viking as you're likely to find. He had several other children just like me, born to different women. But he only gave names to the older ones his wife had given birth to. I'd bet a pound of gold that he wouldn't have recognized any of the others. When my mother was young, she seemed to have been his favorite slave. But once she fell ill, she was treated like a stray dog. She would always talk about our heroic ancestor, Artorius, who was brave and strong. I must have heard the same story countless times. It was the tale of a general who protected my mother's homeland from a barbarian invasion 500 years ago. My mother believed in the legend of that hero's revival, and that someday Artorias would return to free her from sickness and slavery. Somewhere far to the west lies a utopian land where no ordinary man can reach. A paradise that the hero Artorias calls home.
Avalon.
A promised land of peace and abundance, where no one ages or dies. And legend has it, that hero is there now, tending to his wounds. One day he'll return leading an army of millions, sentencing the barbarians to death and bringing peace to the world.
So he's been tending to his wounds for 500 years or so?
My clan still longs for it to come to pass. He hasn't appeared. Of course, it makes perfect sense. If my ancestor really found such a perfect place to spend his time, why the hell would he want to come back to a world like this?
True. True.
One day, when I was 11 years old, my mother finally lost her mind.
Mother!
Why is this guy just walking about randomly?
Of all people, she mistook my old man for Artorias, who just happened to be passing through.
And you're dead.
In that moment, it was clear. If Artorias wouldn't come and save my mother right then and there, then such a man would never return for all eternity. Somebody has to do it. Not heroes or gods. Somebody else.
True. And in the end, when somebody wins, the fighting will end.
Strange. I had never used a sword before, but it felt right in my hands. I knew how to swing it, and how to be deadly. I believe it's the proof I had that bastard's blood running through my veins. Such a pitiful story. Almost makes me cry.
Are you the child of that woman? Are you my son?
Yes, sir.
You show promise. You will live in the manor from now on.
I certainly didn't think an 11-year-old brat could kill such a warrior. But the first step for catching the eye of my old man was a success. I was always behaved at his manor. I didn't neglect my training in martial arts and equestrianism, and made sure I got along well with my half-brothers. And I always made sure to be respectful to my old man. I was his faithful son, and would never forget how he saved me from the life of a slave. In
But all of it.
the servants of his household, as well as his family, completely accepted me as a legitimate heir.
Yep.
This
And when the time
operation
came,
took 2 years to set up.
you killed him.
I had 2 goals. Get him to let his guard down and gain rights to his inheritance. If you boys could have seen the look on his face, the absolute confusion in his eyes. I killed him with my older brother's sword. I stole it from the one who never got along with the old man. The other brothers believed he was the culprit, so they strung him up and desecrated his body. What a bunch of simpletons they were.
You see, and this is...
Disgusting fools. Scum who knew of nothing but their own filthy greed.
And this is why Askeladd is such a good character. Or rather, so capable. Because he's smart. There's like two types of talented characters that I like. Which is, the types of characters like Thorkel, who are just like naturally physically talented. And they're almost like Levi from Attack on Titan, right? Like they're like geniuses when it comes to like fighting and battle. And then there's the other type, the Askelads, right? The smart characters who plan everything out and worm their way in and then kill you when you're asleep. And this whole thing shows how capable Askeladd is, even at an early age. Almost like immediately took advantage of a situation where he needed to defend his mother, immediately came up with the plan to worm his way in and then kill the guy while taking his inheritance and then blaming it on someone else. And it's like, that's how you show that a character is capable. You have them do something.
As I journeyed out into the cruel world, the same sort of ugly bastards made their presence known everywhere. No
Ugly
matter
bastards.
how many I killed, there was no
If you know,
end.
you know.
Doesn't matter if it's Artorias or Ragnarok or the Christian's last judgment. If it's really coming, I just want it to hurry the hell up. But by the time it comes, I probably won't live through it either. I've rambled on for too long. To put it simply, Thorfinn, you've spent 10 years of your life focusing on nothing but defeating me. This story's about what a fool you are.
Shut the hell up! I'll kill you no matter what happens! I'm definitely going to kill you!
Really? This is what you have to say after all that? You're like a hound running yourself ragged and going after bait. I commend you for all the work you've put in for me over the years. I just had to go along with your little joke of a duel, and that alone got you to challenge someone like Thorkel on my behalf. You've been a handy little brat, so thank you. That said, I'm just as grateful to Thor's as well.
Hold on. Wait! Enough already. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut your mouth! Give your wounds time to heal. Wait, damn it. Control yourself!
Here we go. You went and got all stiff on me, Bjorn.
Askeladd, why me? You're the one who's the descendant of Artorias. Deadly and clever. Would it not make more sense if you were the king who changed the world?
You must be kidding, Highness. Weren't you listening to my story? You're far better suited to it than I am. More than me or your father. Looking at your face, I can tell. Besides, in the end, I'm just a damned Viking.
The thing is, Askeladd might say that you're more suited to it than I am. But that's the thing, right? Just like heroes, oftentimes the best suited for the position are the ones that don't think themselves to be the best suited for the position. Oftentimes, the people who are the great leaders, they don't see themselves to be the great leaders. They don't see themselves being worthy of the position. It's the people that follow them, the people who herald them as the hero, as the leader, as the king, that believe them to be worthy. Oftentimes, the best leaders themselves don't find themselves worthy. I actually like this episode. I like pretty much everything in this episode. I actually think it was one of the better episodes of the entire show, except for the fight. So the fight, in my opinion, could have been made better. They could have had the same outcome, but the way they could have done it is that maybe they have kind of like a little back and forth first, sword versus dagger, and then Askeladd does this thing where he throws the sword away. Askeladd looks at Thorfinn and is like, you know, like nothing has changed from the last time, and then throws his sword away and is like, come on, right? And then he even without the sword, he's just countering Thorfinn and essentially reading his every move, but it's not like an immediate one-sided blowout. Right? It's still like Thorfinn is getting hit here and there, right? And slowly kind of getting slower because he's taking damage, but it's still kind of a fight, right? Even though it's one-sided almost after that. And the fight would show that no matter what Thorfinn is doing, no matter how he tries, you know, how he tries to attack Askeladd just kind of counters him because he can read his movements, right? Not that Askeladd just throws his weapon away from the beginning and then just completely overpowers him. It doesn't really get the correct message across, I feel like, because the message he wanted to get across is that, oh, like he said, that Thorfinn kind of, you know, when he loses his cool, he starts flailing around like an amateur, right? But I think it would have made a little bit more sense and would have gotten the message across better if it was more even at first, and then as Askeladd kind of gets accustomed to Thorfinn's movements and whatever, then he gets so confident that he throws his weapon away, and then even barehanded he just counters Thorfinn's every move and starts, you know, punching him, and Thorfinn takes damage, starts slowing down, gets more agitated, more riled up, right, and eventually just kind of cleanly defeats him. Not that he just grabs him immediately and then just beats the fuck out of him. You know, it's just, I feel like they could have shown the difference in like skill level and the ability to like analyze your opponent, because that's kind of what Askeladd was trying to tell through the story, right? Like, be mindful, think, don't let your emotions cloud your judgment, and then when you have the opportunity, take your chance, right? Don't just flail in, don't go immediately for the throat. Basically, that's what Askeladd was trying to say. And it could have been cool to show that no, like, as the fight goes on, Askeladd just, at first with the sword, right? Then throws the sword away, then barehanded, just keeps countering and slowly doing damage, winding him down, and then finally taking him out. Slowly worm yourself in, and then go for the kill. Overall, I think the fight could have been done a lot better, with the same outcome. This art is super cool, by the way. God damn. In the end, am I satisfied with this conclusion? Not really. Like I said, I think the fight should have been done a little bit differently. I definitely would have. But now, like, the problem is the fight ended exactly the same way again. So what now? And I refuse to believe that Thorfinn will give up, right? If this show, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I only see this show going one way, which is Thorfinn will eventually kill Askeladd. There is no other way. part of me, I mean, there's still time. There's still 2 episodes after this, okay? I believe. There's still 2 more episodes. So it is possible that Thorfinn might still kill him before the end of the season. Do I think it's going to happen? Maybe. I think it is possible. Maybe at this point, Thorfinn might try to kill Askeladd in his sleep. I don't think he's going to kill him in his sleep, but I think he's going to kill him, or might kill him, in some sort of, like, non-duel. Straight up, because Askeladd himself just essentially taught, quote-unquote, taught Thorfinn how to kill someone you hate. How did Askeladd kill the person he hated? Well, in his sleep. And so I'm thinking, maybe, because Askeladd just taught Thorfinn to basically kill his enemy, the person he hates, in their sleep. I mean, it would be amazing. Honestly, I think it would be quite the thing to put in the story if they're like in the middle of their plan or whatever, you know, with the king, and then Thorfinn backstabs Askeladd and kills him or something. I don't know. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed episode 22 of Vinland Saga. I really have no idea where we're gonna go with this, because again, I don't see the show really going in any other direction other than the fact that Thorfinn is gonna kill Askeladd. And I really hope that it doesn't go in any other direction. But yeah, I will see you guys in episode 23 of Vinland Saga next time, and until then, I shall bid you adieu.